welcome everybody. I'm delighted you could be here. I'm delighted to have Veda here. Veda is in Philadelphia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Azim is in Pakistan.
Yes, Azim
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for those who weren't here, Lori Gift Harris is the executive director of the Friends of PEB, which is the national organization that coordinates the gifts that go over to PEB in Pakistan. We had originally planned to have Veda be here back in that brief moment when we thought the pandemic was going to be so much better. But of course, that vanished and we're doing it by Zoom. So I'm glad you could all make it to the Zoom. I wanted to do some thank yous before we get started for all the wonderful things that have been happening. We have lots of good news. The Lind Family Trust has provided donations for all the girls at all the Christian girls in the hostel to get medical checkups. The Christmas presents of blazers have been purchased or will be purchased. We're sending the money over, and that comes from the Massey Family Trust. And that'll be a new wool blazer for every girl in the boarding house. So that's wonderful. Solar panels were purchased or repaired. They had some solar panels on top of the boarding house, but they were in disrepair and they needed to get some new ones in addition to that. So those solar panels will mean that they have power for fans and for lights and for refrigerators and that sort of thing. So that will help a lot because energy everywhere is, very, very precious. And then we were able to, this year, we have 13 girls going into post-secondary, which they refer to as college. They have it as a separate thing. And it's a little more expensive for us. But we were able to send all 13 to school this year for a total of $9,750. So we're very excited about that. So lots and lots of good news. Now, when we do the presentation, you might want, when Veda does the presentation, you might want to put it on speaker, so that you can see Veda and you won't see her just as a tiny little square. And if you want to mute yourselves, that's always a good idea if you anticipate background noise. So I want to introduce my dear, dear friend, Veda. Veda first came to our church 22 years ago. I bet that makes a lot of us feel old because it seems like yesterday. She came through an exchange program that Tom Brown set up. And Tom was going to join us today, so I'll be sure and send this to him. Tom has been on the board for a long time with the Friends of Pasrur. So he set this up many years ago and we became fast friends. I think Veda has visited us from Pakistan most years since that time. And we've gotten to be very good friends. Many people call Veda sister because we're so close. And she's also hosted 4 trips when our church from First Presbyterian went to Pakistan, which she takes care of us with extravagant care. She sees to everything. She is not only a dear friend, but a spiritual inspiration. So we are delighted to have her and feel that she's a blessing for our church. So take it away, Veda.
Thank you so much, Jane, and thank you so much for this, from the heart welcome. And I see my friend Kitch there as well. So, it's so this group is, honest to God, this group is like kind of my family group. I feel I know each and everyone sitting there, and it is so wonderful. And you were talking about it, that I have been here coming to Iowa since past 22 years. But the truth of the matter is that you have been my first introduction to American hospitality, American generosity, and American kindness. I was at mission to USA. We were told like how to behave ourselves, and we were told how to interact. We were educated with do's and don'ts. And still we were carrying our Pakistani culture with us. And I have such fond memories of my trip, how it started. And it started with you all, Tom Finlay Brown. I always say that Tom Finlay Brown, the first time, Jane, if you remember, and for the sake of some newcomers, he gave the on that when I was there, I wasn't preaching that time. I was just talking about education, and but he preached, and he charged the congregation of First Press, and saying that, and I remember his quote, and I have used that quote so many times, that, and he charged the congregation saying, let's all join hands in giving new life to the dry bones of educational system in Pakistan. And his that quote, when he was talking about it, and he was reading Jeremiah, and has always stuck with me. And you all have really, the Iowa congregation, First Press, and then it has moved on to different churches there. But you are really a unique group. You are really an outstanding group. And you are really a group which are God's hands and God's feet on this earth. And you are, you know it, many times I have said it, that I have moved around in United States. There are a couple of, maybe Hawaii is one place I haven't been to, and I wish to go there. But mostly I have been to, and maybe Alaska I haven't been, but I have visited many states. But dear friends, you all, the Iowa people, are number one. So you can clap yourself, and I can say that you all are, and I really am from the core of my heart. And in this partnership, and the partnership which has built on trust and faith, you all have made wonders. You all have performed miracles. And I still remember Herb Wilson and Ed Morgan, when you all, and Elaine Marcuson, when you all, Elaine was the first one who joined in. And I love sharing this story for the sake of those who have not heard it. When I came to Iowa, and I was in Minneapolis, and I was asking them, can you ask someone to visit Pakistan? Maybe when the foreigners come, it brings a good rapport. So that was, we were emerging, and I was hoping anyone will come. And David Maxwell, he was from Louisville, and he said, Veda, why don't you go ask them? And I said, well, they are your people. No one will understand me. You tell them. And anyway, I came to First Press. I was doing my presentation. I had very tiny pictures at that time. We didn't had no media kind thing. And after my presentation, Elaine Marcuson, she said, and I said, I wish someone can come to Pakistan. And Elaine Marcuson said, oh, I'm willing to come to Pakistan. And I looked at Elaine and I said, are you joking? I don't joke. And I was like, and those who understand it, they know it, that when she says it, she means it. And she didn't joke, and she did came. And when she came, she became your eyes. And that is then the rest which has followed is history. And you all, and then Ed Morgan came, Herb Wilson, and when Ed was for Multipurpose Hall, when Ed was there, and Ed said that he promised it that, yeah, we are going to build the boarding house. And then we were wondering how, and it's amazing how God has worked. It's amazing how God's people have worked. And it's amazing when we build the building. I still remember I was with the session, and they were saying, oh, okay, so we have built the building. So you will be able to fill it. And I was like, building buildings is one thing, keeping it functional is another. And I was hoping and praying, and that is when Jane and many of you, really, that is where the Friends of Pasrur stepped forward. That is where you all really gave new life to the dry bones of educational system of Pakistan. The boarding house, which was closed for over 30 years, no more than 30, 40 years, you opened it, and you have transformed so many lives in the boarding house with these 100 girls, providing scholarships to them. And they are amazing, amazing stories. We have 2 schools which have progressed to the higher education. And when we call it higher education, grade 11 and 12 goes to higher education, because in Pakistan, the schools are up till grade 10. So 2 schools have gone into higher education. And honestly, Pasrur is one of them. And your contribution, and I wish Nancy Ross was somewhere here.
I think she is.
And
Nancy, can you wave your hand?
Yeah, I see now. I see Adan and Nancy both, and it is their library has really made an impact. Your contributions, and Nancy, on this forum, I am answering your question that your money, we are going to use it for buying the library books. And in future we are, because that is one thing which is a dire need. And so we will be focusing on library to enhance it and to upgrade it further. And because that has really helped the girls in Pasrur move forward. The girls have won so many trophies using the books from the library. It has developed really confidence in them. And you people, Elaine was the one who introduced the idea of a single desk and chair. And that single desk and chair has given confidence more to the girls. So it is just like I can go on and on. And then the new edition of Gil Nicholson, where is my friend? I can't, yeah, Amy Nicholson is there. So the new boys' school, it is an amazing, amazing story how God is at work in Pasrur, and how this one area has transformed so many lives. And now this boys' school, I hate to say it, now the boys' school is saying the number is increasing, we need more classrooms. The girls' schools are saying the number is increasing, we need more classrooms. And I'm like, for God's sake. And I know these are the challenges, but these are good challenges, which are encouraging challenges. And the parents, like, I was listening to the story of the boys' school, and he was telling to the parent that we don't have a place in the classroom, and the parent was saying it's okay, doesn't matter, let him still let him sit anywhere, even in the doorway. And he will learn, because that is how the schools are rated, and that is how the parents are viewing it, that together we all are making a difference. And the academic team in Pakistan is really a wonderful team. We have 8 expats now from America, 1 from Chile, and then through different organizations, and they are helping us. They are developing curriculum, and they are developing strategies in which, rather than preparing like students doing rote learning, the students are now using their creative thinking. And it's amazing how the academic results have improved. And just wanted to share, because my heart is singing with joy really today, that maybe all the schools, in all the schools, the result has been 100%. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I know it has been like, and I was thinking about 1998 when we got these schools back, and the result was 18% and 18. And I was thinking, I can never improve them. This will never move forward. And why even I'm doing this work, what I'm doing. But it's so encouraging, the commitment of the team which is on the ground in Pakistan, the commitment of the principals which are working, and the prayers of many friends, and the contributions of you all, which is making a huge difference. Without you all, really, the girls would never have been able to go to school. Without you all, we could never have been able to build new buildings. These new buildings are really the new lives. And these new buildings are really adding to our image. These new buildings are really adding more confidence into the students, and these new support which you all have provided is a strength to all of us. So I can go on and on and on, and I can keep on telling you stories after stories. But one thing I want to tell you is that in COVID-19, and even though this past 2 years have been very challenging, this has been a time when there has been many challenges, but you all supported us. And with your support, many girls, nearly 99.9% of the girls have come back. And in fact, our enrollment has increased. In fact, the parents, more and more parents have come forward, and they want to join in our schools as compared to other schools. And the children have joined back with more zeal, with more enthusiasm, and the children are so happy to be back in school. And during the pandemic, many of the parents, because of course the teachers were reaching out to the parents, the teachers were reaching out to the students via phone. So, and one of the students was saying, my cousin was studying in another school. No one asked her, but I felt so good that my teacher was calling me regularly, and we were sending them homework. So these small gestures really have been the gestures which has encouraged the parents and which has motivated us as well. So, and which has created a good image about our schools as well. So from the core of my heart, I want to say thank you to all of you. From the core of my heart, I want to say shukriya to all of you. And from the core of my heart, I want to say I love you all, really. And you all are like so near and dear to me. And in the end, I will say Pakistan Zindabad. Currently, I am not, but and I am looking towards time. So we have a PowerPoint and we have a video too. So Jane, you be the moderator and let me know which direction you want to go.
Okay, let's do the video. It's a short video to update us on what the girls are doing.
Dear friends, it's so wonderful to be back in Pasrur and to see these young smiling faces all back in school and happy. I am extremely happy to see them enjoying the classroom environment. The boarding house is full, the girls are here, and the amazing thing is,
Oops. Edward? We have technical problems. I'm sure he's working on it.
Yeah, well,
so happy, and honestly, I am happy too. May God bless them all, and it's wonderful. And thank you indeed for joining hands. Thank you indeed for educating these young girls. You are amazing. You are God's hands on earth, and you are making a huge difference in the lives of so many girls. And together, dear friends, we are moving forward. Together, we are achieving our goals. May God bless you all. May God bless America. I always say, may God bless Pakistan as well. Pakistan, Zindabad.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the buttons. God bless you all. We love you all. Thank you.
Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That always makes me smile. Veda, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but Ed, we're probably going to do the PowerPoint a little bit later. I thought maybe we could do questions now, or unless you have something to add.
No, thank you so much. Of course, open to question answers. But before I go on to the question answers, just another thing which was coming into my mind was that many places people ask me, how is Afghanistan situation is impacting us, and how is how we are responding, and how so that is one thing I just wanted to let you all know. That of course we have a load of illegals, Afghanis, those who are coming to Pakistan. We are Pakistani government is mindful about that. Pakistani government is watching them carefully, and many places I have said it, that the economy of Pakistan is under a lot of stress, and you can see it when we see that the dollar is rising. So currently $1 is equivalent to 173 Pak rupees. And when you people were in Pakistan, $1 was equal to 119 or something like that. So this shows that currently the government of Pakistan is facing some challenges, and but we are mindful about it, that with these illegally, those who are coming, it could be some Taliban, some fundamentalists will be coming as well. But we are open to it if there will be some girls from those areas, if they will be there in our area, and to open to educate them. But just remember us in your prayers, and directly we are not impacted by still by the Talibans and by what is happening in Afghanistan, but we are looking at it, especially the girls, with a lot of concern, because the same story was in Pakistan 15 years back, and slowly but surely it has moved to a better place. So we are hoping that for Afghanis it will be a new day soon. Just yes. So
are there any questions about how things are going? How has COVID affected the girls?
Well, to be very honest, I always brag about it. There are two things I brag about PB and about our students. One thing I brag is, and none, not a single student. I have visited schools when I was in Pakistan, and every time I go and I said, okay, please raise up your hands if anyone in the family has suffered with COVID-19 or any your immediate one, and not a single one. So that was, and all of the students, those who have come back, 99.9%, they have come back healthy. And the 0.01% which have not come back, it is not due to COVID, or it is due to transfer or some of their own issues and reasons why the girls have not come back. And secondly, I am so proud of the PEB team and the principals and the admin people and all of them, those who have been really very vigilant about following the protocols of COVID-19 protocols when the students were coming in. And we were rated as A+ schools, all PEB schools, because government teams were visiting these schools randomly. The students were supposed to have their own water bottle. Thank you to all of you for providing water bottles even to our students. And so students have to have their own water bottle, they have to have their own lunch box, and they have to have all of these things so that the government team could see it, that there is no sharing going on, and that we are following all the protocols and hand wash and sanitizers and cleanliness and all of that. And all our schools have been graded as one of the like the top ones which have been following all the protocols. And another thing which has been very important, which I have heard about that, is that they were doing random tests of students. Many of the government schools, the students were declared with COVID positive, but none of our students have been declared on random testing COVID positive. And Katie, just to let you know that our grade 9 and 10, you are always into vaccines. Grade 9 and 10 in Pakistan and in PEB schools, all of them have been provided with Pfizer medicine, the injections. So the girls have all received this COVID vaccine. So that is one thing, and it has been, the state has provided it free. So that is one good news about that. So
that is wonderful. I'm so happy about that. How is COVID in Pakistan? Is it serious? Not yet. I mean, I think I heard there were outbreaks in Southeast Asia, but it hasn't really hit there yet.
In Pakistan, when the government gives the numbers, it is 2% now, which shows that people are, so they opened the schools to 100% population. Prior to October, 50% of the students were coming one day and the 50% were coming on the other day. So we had to alternate among the students. The boarding house girls were all in the boarding house, so we kept them in the boarding house. If government has allowed it, that means that government has been vigilant in noticing it, that the pandemic is under control. But people are not really wearing masks a lot. But one thing which is mandatory in Pakistan in the government schools is, and in the government employment, is that you have to get vaccinated. If you are not vaccinated, you are not going to get your salaries. If you are not vaccinated, you are not allowed to come into the classrooms for the teachers. So these steps have really encouraged it. And Martinport, many of you have visited it. So Youngsanabad, a Christian village, I heard about it. The chief, there was one person who got COVID. So the chief gathered the village and he said, here it is, that is place where the injections are going on. Go get vaccinations. And if you are not vaccinated, you are not going to leave the village. So he got the whole village vaccinated. I had my help at home, so she was telling me the story from that village, that this is what is happening in these small villages. People are taking it more seriously, the vaccinations in Pakistan. But then again, people are people. Some think it's good, something it's bad. So. Yes.
Who else has questions about the school? Anybody else have questions? Well, I saw pictures of the boys' school and it looked fantastic. When we saw it, because there were delays in the construction, unavoidable delays, it was more or less finished, but not finished off. The finishing stuff, touches hadn't been made. And it's so nice to see it all landscaped and beautiful. Oh my gosh, So how are things going for the boys' school?
Well, the boys' school, we have a new principal there. He has a lot of commitment. It's amazing how committed people are getting on board. And I don't think so. I take the credit onto it. It's God's grace. And he is so committed. And he works day and night, and he has made a huge difference. Zarafisha, our girls' school principal, who was our ex-student from Canada Academy as well, she is married now. She will be leaving for England. Her husband lives in England, so we are looking for a replacement. So I ask you to please remember it in your prayers, because I was I was so very pleased with her commitment too. But so anyway, but the boys' school is progressing. The boys' school is going very well, and I was some of our expats, those who were there, and when I say expats, these are Americans, those who are in an academic department, and I got a message from them, Mrs. Javed, we need more classroom for the boys, and we the girls' school is the middle section. You have added more classrooms in the for the primary, but the middle section needs the girls are sitting in very conditions which are not really the good ones, so they need that. So these are kind of, and people think Mrs. Javed has a magic wand, but so but it's amazing. I am so at times I am at awe how really God works and how really God's people respond. And the way I talked about blazers, and I was thinking about it, how you people responded. And we were talking about solar panels, and we were dreaming of having solar panels. And you always are the pioneers ones, the initiative ones, those who take the initiatives. And then I was in Minnesota, and we talked about solar panels, and I charged them. I said, there is one church in Iowa, and they have done solar panels for the boarding house. And Carol Brink, Jane, you know her name, so I'm taking that name. So she said, oh, sure, I can do solar panels.
Oh, good for her.
I know. And at times I'm at awe.
Yeah.
And at times you never know how God's people are going to respond, but really it touches my heart, and it touches the hearts of so many people in Pakistan for your trust and faith in us, and together we have really moved on.
You've talked about all the great things that are going on, but you also mentioned that you have dire concerns about the primary wing. And I know Veda has some pictures of the primary wing, and at this point it is a dream, a hope for the future. But we checked, and they said it'd be okay to share those. She has a short PowerPoint on what's going on with the primary wing and why it needs it. They need to have repairs done, and they need to have a lot of building done. So I'll let you go ahead and explain.
Yeah, are you going to, Ed, are you going to show the PowerPoint?
Yeah, it should be showing right now.
And do you want me to say something on it, or is it?
Yeah, why don't you just talk a little bit about it as we go through?
Yeah, it's we are talking about this primary wing. You all have added an academic wing, and you all have added multi-purpose hall. But we are now in need of admin block and this primary block. And this building was built in 1906. The girls are sitting there. It's not the number in both the schools, boys and girls school, has gone nearly up till 1,000. But these girls are studying there. But we do, every time we do the repairs, but the roofs are leaking because the building has lived the life. So Ed, if you can come to the next slide, please.
My understanding is that the concrete itself is so cracked that the water goes through it. So it floods a couple times a year. And that's why the paint won't stay on the walls, because the walls get damp. And and to clarify, the primary block was originally the preschool. And for the real little kids, they moved them out and moved in, I think it's first and second grade. Is that right?
Yes, and just I want to point of order, which I really want you to note, is that in 1906, when these buildings were constructed, it was not constructed. They were constructed with bricks, but they were not constructed with mortar, but they were constructed with mud. So in between the bricks, there is mud. And so that life of the mud and all of that has given up. And so now we try to cover these bricks with the plaster, but it doesn't, because the life has, as Zoor engineers have said, that they have lived their life. And this building is nothing you can do to repair them. We have been repairing them for past 20 years. This portion, we have been repairing it. You helped us add other block, but this block was there and it looked a little better, but now it is caving in. Thank you, Jane.
Oh, yeah. Also, I want to say that it's, the question was how to divide this up, because the administration block you'll see is offices, bathroom, that sort of thing, things they need. And the other is these classrooms for the first and second graders, I believe. Is that right, Veda?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So they're two separate projects. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and this was the structure which you saw it in, which was in 1998, and the structure, and that is how the buildings were when in 1998 when we got them back. And you can see it, and at that time it was, and the buildings, if you look into it, that is how the buildings look like. And these were the buildings and the structures which were before the repair, and then we repaired them. And we repaired them, and we got the girls sitting in the classrooms, but still the dampness, and because of the floods, and the school building is on a low line, and the plinth level of the road is high, so the water flows in and then it is flooded, so you can see the moist there. And we had to really demolish this portion, and then you can see and portion of that we demolished, and portion of that we repaired. And the roof is like that. And Zoor engineers, we had, and they were saying that if you really want to keep them, then you will have to add pillars, which can give a couple of more years to the life of the roof. But otherwise, these buildings are really, they need to be demolished. Yeah, and these are self-explanatory, and you can see the.
Is that a current picture of the school, the way the classrooms are now?
Yes, yes. And even though we tried to repair it, even though we tried to, but every now and then, in 6 months' time, and you can see that the girls are sitting. Current is because you can see them wearing masks, and you can see the verandas and this whole building, which is really falling apart. Yeah. So we do repair them, and at times we paint them, and they look really nice. But so Zoor engineers are those who visited Pakistan. And Paul, look, I can see your face, so you understand it. That just that Zoor engineers as well. So and they are these were the reasons why they said that currently the building is below the road level, and that area is affected by flood water. So we really need to get this building constructed. And this is the letter from Zoor engineers which we got it, so I was just wanting it to the building. I wanted to have their report so that I was sure that if we can use it or how we can do it. So this was the letter which we received it in January 2021, and in which they said that the building is really not worth living in, and this really needs to be, we have to let it go. And their recommendation was that we need to demolish it. And of course, parents are still, I feel concerned that I hope it will not one day cave in. Because usually the roof has slabs. So unfortunately, if the slabs are bigger ones, so if some slab cave in, it can be disastrous. So that is one of my major concerns for this building. I'm sorry I'm bringing it all to you, but just wanted to share with you all, because I know you are my family. And so these were some of the reasons why academic team and admin team we all were putting it together. And
how many classrooms are in the primary section?
I think 4 classrooms. If you look into the 4 classrooms and then veranda and a toilet block, or 4 or 5 classrooms. As we will, and this is the admin, we demolish it. If you remember it, there was this one block onto this side. So we demolished that, Paul, if you remember it, this building was going towards the boarding house. So it was, that building was caving in because it was totally neglected. So we have, and this one admin block, we kept this one building, and we tried to repair it. And the account people and the admin people are sitting in this building, and the parents come and meet with the account people in this building. So this is the whole admin block at the present.
The administration,
Yes, and the Nancy, it will be at a higher elevation, the elevation on which the multipurpose hall is, elevation on which the boys' school is, and elevation on which the academic block is. The same level they are going to do that. And Nancy was asking one question. It was in box question, so I read her question, so I'm answering her question as well.
Thank you, Veda.
And this is how the admin block is, even though we have painted it, but time and again, if it rains, then the roofs leak, and then the whole of the plaster falls down. So that
is the entire administration office.
Yes, that is the entire administration office.
And there is not a bathroom.
No. They have to. This is one admin office, which is like the kind of the admin, and the bathroom they have to use at the school bathrooms. There is, yeah. And then teachers have no separate rooms. So we are in this admin block, we are looking for the staff room for the teachers and a bathroom for the teachers. But because teachers, they have sacrificed enough, the teachers, so far, because we were focusing on multipurpose hall, we were focusing on academic block, and teachers kept on saying we don't have a place to sit. They were using classrooms to sit during recess time. or they were using verandas in winters as well, sitting out in cold, and in summers in heat, they were sitting outside in verandas. And still they were working, still they were producing good results. So so it had been a very heavy burden on my heart to talk about the need for the teachers, because the teachers really commitment outstanding, and dedication outstanding, and really, and the facilities, even though they were very minimum, but they were working to the best of best possibilities they could afford to. And it is a dire need now to have a staff room, and that is how they sit in the classroom sometimes. And this is the staff room, which is again in a deplorable condition. And this staff room is the building which has been, the portion which was condemned, and we moved the students out of this portion, but we let the staff sit there.
Oh.
So I know
That's so typical for teachers.
Yeah, I know.
We're afraid this is going to collapse, so you can have it for your staff.
I'm really bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, so sometimes the women do not want to have their picture taken. So if you can see that this one is hiding her face, but she doesn't want her picture to be taken. So you understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And of course, many of you are teachers, so you understand the importance of a staff room. So I have been, and there is no principal's room too. So in the new admin block, there will be the principal's room office. Principal office has been in the old building. We renovated it. We did anything and everything. And
could you wind this up a little bit, Ed? Sorry, because we want to have time for questions.
And this is one of the pictures which I love it, and I'm sure some of you understand it. And and the people, those who are in this picture, maybe they can recognize that this was the whole congregation when in 1999 when I came, and I wanted all of you, and somewhere I am in there too, yeah, in the middle, and if you can recognize. And of course, thank you to Friends of, and Janice Bombach, my heart goes out to her. And please convey my good wishes and my love to Janice family.
Okay, so that is the cost. Primary block would be 200,000, admin block 150,000. And those could be two separate projects.
Yes. And Jane, I was wondering if there was a slide, but I can provide it, in which Zor engineers, we talk about it, how many classrooms, I think 4 classrooms and a toilet for the primary section. And then in the admin block, there was the principal's office, and then storeroom. We need a storeroom, and then the account office, and the bathrooms for them. The teachers had been and a kitchenette for the staff, so that at least they can make tea or something during break time, or however. So these are just putting it out in front of you.
Are there any questions about this, or about anything about the girls, about your student or your contribution?
I see Sue Dellum there.
Yeah, Sue's there on her iPhone. Are you sure you're not being shy? Because I just can't imagine people don't have some questions about it.
I was wondering about security. There have been times when there were concerns, heightened concerns about security for the school. Has anything changed in that realm?
Thank you so much, Farrell, for asking this question. Government of Pakistan is dependent upon schools to provide securities. So we do have, and that is why the cost has gone a little up too. We do have we hire company guards. When we call it company guards, these are like official guards with guns and all of that. So it is mandatory that we have these guards when the schools are open. There is a specific number which we have to cover. The government academic admin government people visit, they count the numbers, they count if the guards have that whatever the equipment is required. So these protocols are still going on, but the previously the security threats which we faced it 10 years back, those security threats are limited now. None of the schools have been receiving those nasty kind of letters which we used to receive it. There was times when they were wall chalking, and there were messages that the girls' schools particularly. But with the current government, I think, and with the Taliban's focus in Afghanistan, there is less of a focus on Pakistan currently. And Pakistan has progressed and the schools have moved forward, and government is very supportive of it. But yes, we have security guards still. Have I made my self clear to it? Yes, Nancy's asking a question. Yes, Nancy.
So are you thinking that you might want to start this building before you have all the funding, or do you need all the funding to be able to even start either one of these buildings? What kind of time frame are you on?
To be very honest, to have the whole money and then to start the building is a lot of American thing. And you understand it. When to us, like when we had this multi-purpose hall, and you all, if you remember, anyone who had a history, remember that it started with 5,000, and then that we will give 25,000 in so many years. And so anyway, whatever we were able to receive it, we engaged the Zohr engineers, we started working on it, we started sending progress reports, and slowly but surely the money followed. So all we look for is seed money. At times when the seed money comes in, and Zohr engineers can start working onto it, since that is how we do it. Nancy, have I made myself clear?
Oh, perfectly clear. Yes, I do remember that now that you mention it.
Yes.
Veda, what I might have missed this, but what happens to the primary kids when this is all going on? Are they going to be, is there another space for them to continue being in school?
What we are hoping is that once, if we will move these 4 classes, then we are going to use the multipurpose hall. The multipurpose hall is a big space, and then there are this computer labs and science lab, and then there is this the labs which are outside. So we are going to use that building, and then in the meantime we are going to use the hall multipurpose. There is not a multipurpose, but the hall in the boarding house. So we are going to use these rooms, the spaces which are available, if and when the money will come, and if we will have to demolish that.
Okay.
Any other questions about the girls or the projects? I noticed you have new curtains in the boarding house hall.
Yes, I know. This we have a new boarding house coordinator, Sarah. She's a young girl, and she's all into bringing some brightness and some. And she said those curtains were old and they need to be replaced. And she was so persistent at times for the boarding house. And
Good for her.
so yeah,
I
it just
noticed they don't permit light to come in, and I
yeah.
imagine when it gets hot, it's really nice to have
Mhm.
light screening.
Uh,
I mean,
you-
hot in Pakistan is
Hot.
really, really hot.
And Jane, you understand it how Ijaz is. He's never very happy about spending money if it is not, there is no designation onto it. For curtains, there was none, and I was like, Ijaz, doesn't matter. We have some undesignated. But Sarah was very happy, and the girls were so delighted.
Oh, I bet they were. I bet they were.
Yeah.
Do they have any needs besides the Blazers?
The boarding house, there is another need which they are talking about. When you ask about it, then Jane, of course, I go. And there are some computer needs which are, they were asking about. We give in the boarding house, we give old computers, and those computers needed repair. So this is Sarah coming into it that, oh, the girls are using those, they are very slow, ma'am, can we replace them? And I said, stop. I said, and so that is, that
That's
was.
a possibility. Of course, my brain is always thinking art supplies.
Yes. So
Pictures for the walls,
Yes.
all these things. And yeah.
So that has been Kitch, bye, all good wishes, and thank you so much. Thank you for being there, and hope you are well. So wonderful to see you, Kitch. Thank you. So it is, yeah, and she always is asking for office supplies and paints, and this is one thing she kept, she's always asking for them.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Yes. And so these are the things which are, and to having a boarding house coordinator, and particularly a young girl, she's young and she's so she can relate to these girls a lot. So the other day I was there, and she said during COVID-19 last year, and for past 3 years, these girls didn't had an outing. So maybe Azim, if you are listening, if you are here, I'll send you pictures of these girls. They went out and we arranged for an outing for them. And so they went to Islamabad and to visit some of the hilly areas there. It was a one-day trip, and she was insistent that these girls have not been out, and she's in main office, and she bugs me a lot for the boarding.
Good for her.
So, and so now and then, like, she's young. I usually, me having no daughters, I usually give importance to these girls. So so the boys think that I pamper them, but it is just kind of, this, all my whole family knows it, that I pamper the girls. So anyway, but whenever I'm talking to her, and then she very politely, ma'am, the girls are asking, I did ask you 2 months ago, can they go? Can they? And I like, okay, if all security arrangements are. And then she was all into it. She was continuously with this admin people of the, and then Simon arranged it for someone from Islamabad Pindi school to go with them and organize it, arrange it, and it worked out very well. I'll send you
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah. So some fun things do happen.
When we asked the girls what they liked the most about at the boarding house, we asked them what they liked the most about the school. Many included the aunties at the boarding house. And aunties, of course, as most of you know, is the word for a woman, really, that you're fond of. A friend, a friendly woman, but they meant the ladies who helped them there.
Yes, and those who are the like kind of the dumb parents, and they are very committed, even though with limited amount of resources they have. But it's so encouraging to see how people do this, and people believe into it that no one is watching, but God is watching. So that kind of an atmosphere prevails in PB schools, which is wonderful. Then you have a less of a monitoring, because we are monitored by our own selves. So,
Are there any other questions?
and
Oh, yeah, Paul.
I
yes,
just wanted to inquire if there are special needs just now at the boys' school. I know that there was concern about a security wall that was crumbling at one point.
Yes, Paul, there had been, thank you so much for inquiring. The number of boys have increased so much in the boys' school, so they are asking for more furniture. So that I got this need, and we were so we have added some furniture. Was we provided it in the past with the numbers, whatever the number was, so it was according to that number that we build in that furniture, which we provided it at that time. But now they were asking for that, and that amount is there somewhere, but I never thought anyone will ask it. But if Lori is there, or someone, I can ship that the information.
Sure, we
Perfect.
appreciate that. And also, of course, our best regards to Maji Devel and perhaps Bishop Mano. We remember both of them fondly from our visit and Maji's visits here to Iowa City.
He's here in United States these days. He was in Virginia somewhere, but he's back in Pakistan. But I will definitely convey your good wishes to him.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and Paul, you are remembered very fondly back. All those who visited Pakistan are very fondly remembered.
Oh.
I was going to say, from all of us, from Amy and Anna's not on the call, but just please give our fondest regards to the staff. They were above and beyond fun. Oh, and Nancy Weber, of course, went on a separate trip.
And Mary Lynn went to there too, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Okay, Mary Lynn didn't go. Nancy went.
No, Mary Lynn is just one of our right-hand people. So it seems like she must have gone.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, I agree.
All right, well, thank you so much, Veda. This has been wonderful. Would you say a prayer with us as we close?
Yes, can I say the prayer in Urdu?
Yes, please.
Ay khudamd khuda, ay abba, ay bapasmani, तेरे पास आते हैं, शुक्रगुजार हूँ आयोवा कॉन्ग्रीगेशंस के लिए, फर्स्ट प्रेस्बिटेरियन चर्च आयोवा सिटी आयोवा के लिए, निकलसन फैमिली के लिए, और बाकी सब के लिए, those who have been your hands. Lord, thank you so much for this amazing group. And thank you for your kind hands on people in Pakistan. Ay Khudawan, is रफ़ाकत के वसीला से Presbyterian Education Board, Friends of Pasrur, में रफ़ाकत को कायम रखें और हम सबको अपने जलाल के लिए इस्तेमाल करें. आय अब्बा, मेरी दुआ सुन ले, मसीह यीशु के नाम से. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, and I said that let our partnership be glorified, and bless our partnership with Friends of Pasrur and with this congregation. And I especially, of course, with Amy Nicholson and Herb Wilson and all of them for their contribution, for their generous gift, and for Ed Morgan and Tom Finlay Brown and all the pastors, those who have been there, my heartfelt gratitude and my lots and lots and lots of love to all of you, and blessings. And I always in the end say, may God bless America and may God bless Pakistan. And together we can, Pakistan, Zindabad. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much,
you
Veda.
so much.
Thank
you
you.
so much. I
Thank
always feel so buoyed by these wonderful presentations.
Oh, it is my joy, and I feel so honored to be part of this group. And you are really an amazing, amazing, amazing ones. And I wish I can give you a hug, and I wish, but a lot of love comes to your
Oh,
side.
I know one thing we can do,
Uh-huh.
and maybe Ed could take a picture. If you can all find on your reactions on the toolbar on the bottom, find a heart and put it up. We can give a virtual heart to each other.
Oh,
I
that
love
is
it.
so awesome. That is so awesome.
Okay, now this is going to take a little coordination because it just stays on there for a bit. So
Yeah, you have to keep.
I'll wait till all the hearts are gone. And then on the count of 3, let's all do it again. Then I'll
Okay.
take the picture.
And then smile.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds good.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care. We'll send
Thank
you the
you.
picture.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you, Veda. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye, all of you. Thank you. Thank you.